All right. Today's lesson is about linear functions. Linear comes from the word line. So we're talking about graphs of lines and things like that. But we're going to be learning a new idea, and it's called a function. A function, if you understand cause and effect, then you understand what a function is. It's basically one thing directly causes another. Okay, it directly relates to another thing. So we're going to start off slow with domain and range. I think you guys have heard of domain and range before. Domain is all of your x values, and the range is all of your y values. And so with a function, the x values directly relate to the y values. Okay, and I'm going to be going back and forth to my Elmo. So you should be taking notes with this as well. So if you don't have pencil and paper, you may want to get some, or you can wait until the end because I'm recording it, so you can go back and copy your notes later and just watch now. But I'm just going to be writing down like some main ideas. I'm not going to write a whole bunch. But so we're talking about linear functions. Okay. Domain and range. So domain is all x values, and range is the y values. Okay, so if we look at this table, it's very simple just to tell what the domain and the range are. It's the domain would be all of the x's, so the domain would be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then your range is all of the y's, so that would be 11, 12, and 13 because there's 3 13s. Okay. All right, so um, the domain and the range, this is what all of this is down here. So the domain and the range can also be called inputs and outputs. You know, in math, we always have several different names for the same thing. But domain is called can also be called inputs, and y can also be called outputs. And that's because whatever you input into a situation causes an output. That's why I said if you understand cause and effect, then you can understand what a function is. It's like if you have a job, right? You work, you get paid $10 an hour. The more hours you work, the more you get paid. Okay, so your input are your hours, okay, and your output would be your paycheck. So that's what a function is. So here it says a relation. Y'all can read this. A relation is a set of ordered pairs. A relation is like what comes before a function. A relation can just be x's and y's. A function, they relate in a certain type of way. A function is a relation in which each input is assigned to exactly one output. So that means there can only be one x for every y. Okay. If y'all have questions, then y'all can use the chat. I'll be checking the chat as we go through, and I'll stop anytime. Don't feel like you're interrupting me. Stop and try to answer your questions while we're in here together. Okay. If I'm going too fast or if you just completely lost at this point, just let me know. Okay. All right. So a function is a relation in which each input is assigned to exactly one output. The uh, the domain of a function is the set of inputs. The range of a function is the set of outputs. So in other words, the domain is the x's because inputs are x's, and the range are and the outputs are y's because the range is y. All right. So like we just said, the domain of this function is